ايه نذر ريكورد عشان جيجا عشان ننزلهم منفصلين. لا تسي
Welcome to the Coalition here in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, home of Gears of War. When Gears debuted in 2006, it instantly redefined the genre. And now in 2026, we're on the cusp of another rare moment. A chance to honor where we've been, celebrate with our fans, and lay the foundation for where Gears is going next. To get there, we're taking it all the way back to the day the world changed and the fight began, Emergence Day. It's a day of unimaginable loss that sits at the heart of our universe. And today, for the first time, we're ready to take you inside the studio and show you all the ways to play with our new movements, weapons, and modes that will make E-Day the most brutally satisfying Gears yet.
Is that all you got?
Before we talk about what this game is, I think it's important to share why we chose E-Day.
Right.
When we started this project, we were moving to Unreal Engine 5. There's a new foundation with a blank slate. So we took a moment to reflect on what makes Gears so special to us and to our fans. We realized that all of the things that make this world feel so unique, brotherhood, brutality, that melancholy beauty, and over-the-top spectacle, they're all perfectly set up in this one moment in time, E-Day.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله. Welcome.
And to tell that story, we wanted to build an experience that evoked the vibes of the original Gears game. So we started with this one still from the Mad World trailer. It's Marcus facing down the Locust, defiantly firing into the darkness against overwhelming odds. And we said, this is the emotional core of Gears. This is the tone and feeling that we wanted to build our next game around.
This is our most ambitious game yet.
جمعية
E-Day
المؤتمرات.
is a story we haven't been able to tell.
يلا خلاص خلص هذا آخر شيء. في مثلا ثانيين بس ثانيين مو مهمين يعني. أمشي المعارض الكبيرة.
Unprecedented level of detail. We're pushing Gears to new heights with the densest, most detailed world we've ever created. With seamless large-scale environments.
نينتندو ما أعلنوا ما قالوا شيء. بس يمكن يصير لهم حدث ولا كذا.
And richer real-time destruction. Starting with an empty hard drive, we literally rebuilt everything from scratch. Characters, enemies, weapons, animation, sound, the world itself. And then we tear it apart in front of you. You'll fight against bigger and more brutal.
يابا ترى النهايات الحين خلاص خلص الحدث الحين دايركت حق جيرز.
With more natural character movement, so that every moment of emergence plays smoother and hits harder.
This is a game that feels like Gears, but
أوه فاتك واجد. الكثير.
turn the feelings that we had
بعد ما يخلص الحدث نعطيك العلم.
and enhanced with the power of a new engine.
E-Day is set before the events of the original Gears of War. After decades of conflict, peace has finally been declared on Sarah, and the Gears have returned home.
Love you, baby.
Marcus Phoenix and Dominic Santiago are young veterans trying to adjust to civilian life while grieving the loss of someone they both loved.
وشوف في ألعاب كثيرة بتنزل السنة يعني بتنزل في شهر 9 وهذه
Dom's older brother and
بس يا
Marcus'
كثرهم.
friend.
To Carlos.
To Carlos. Best fucking brother anyone could ask for.
Carlos died in combat in a moment of sacrifice before the war ended, and without him, Marcus and Dom's relationship is distant.
The emotion from our refinery
With the world just barely on the cusp of peace and our characters coming to terms with their new reality, the locusts emerge and change everything.
The Coalition Emergency Broadcast System. There are reports of multiple tremors causing minor damage across Kelowna.
Strap these on.
E-Day tells not one, but two origin stories. The start of this world falling apart and a brotherhood coming together. And over the course of 3 intense days, you'll see how loss reshapes this world and our characters, beginning with a night of desperate survival in a brand new city.
Look good.
We decided to focus our story on just one city, so you could really feel what war does to people. When we started creating Kelowna, we wanted it to be more than just a backdrop. We wanted to feel alive, like it was another character in the story, packed with layers and personality. Kelowna used to be all about innovation and discovery. But years of industrialization for the Cog War effort totally reshaped it. With such a rich history, it made sense to lean into that classic Gears retro vibe. Towering architecture, robust vehicles, and grounded technology. Kind of like those gritty industrial cities from the 1970s. We also looked right outside these windows at the mountains, the ocean, and local landmarks to help give Kelowna its unique style. As you play the campaign, the city reveals itself through the main districts. The historic center, with its classic Gears architecture in stone and steel. The downtown core, more modern, reshaped by decades of industrial growth. The military airfield, set at the forest edge with shipyards nearby, the refineries, and supporting working-class neighborhoods, built around constant emulsion production.
Gears plays best in a city, and Kelowna is the ultimate battlefield. Kelowna's density, tight streets, mixed with open spaces, let us rethink how a gear moves through the world, and it created the perfect stage for greater scale and verticality in combat. Our soldiers are basically giant tanks in armor. They slam into cars, weaving through hails of bullets. And we wanted to keep that heaviness, but add more fluidity to how you move through the battlefield. Cover is life in Gears. And we've completely rebuilt our movement and cover systems, with smoother transitions and a bigger range of cover heights and shapes, including new low ground cover. This all allows us to create more complex and organic feeling spaces than ever before.
يب اللوكافر والماركو.
Which lets you quickly get under objects,
Oh.
slide around corners, or transition more smoothly into cover from a run. And we added the ability to jump, which really opened up this citywide battleground. We get to play
Yep,
with more
little jump.
verticality, climbing walls and vehicles, or clearing gaps in crumbling buildings to reach new flanking routes. At the heart of our gameplay is still that great Gears combat puzzle. A mix of unique enemy combinations, tactical weapon choices, and your ability to read and move through the arena. But now you have more choice than ever, and we get these peaks of almost action movie sequences. You can throw yourself off a balcony, land next to your buddy and revive him, scramble through cover, slide under a truck and hit safety on the other side. We get these amazing Gears playgrounds, small and large, where all these elements come together, and the city is filled with them.
Our missions move across the city, from linear fights in narrow streets and alleys to more open districts, where you have access to entire neighborhoods. Now you have strategic choices. Do you take the enemy head-on? Do you flank them from a side entrance? Or do you climb up to the balcony across the street and take them all out with your long shot? It's up to you. And if you're playing co-op with your friends, well, then you can try all three at the same time. Taking your own path reveals small stories from the city. Survivors trapped in an apartment.
There's a civilian in that building. 4th floor.
A raven crashed in the distance. A group of gears readying an ambush. You still have your orders, but it's up to you to decide where you offer to help or how much of the city you choose to explore.
And that city is fully realized. To create a city of this scale and detail, we needed to invest in an entire suite of tools. Tools for roads, intersections, sidewalks, e-holes, buildings, rooftops, and pipes. We have a procedural content generation toolset for scattering millions of pieces of trash and debris across the ground to make Kelowna feel lived in. This is the largest, most complex location you've ever seen in a Gears game.
But the board control is connected to an older antenna. I can reconfigure their radios to reach Afira.
Do it. The remaining gears will hold the fort.
In other Gears games, the world's basically already dead. There are very few human survivors left. But in E-Day, you're watching a live city get ripped apart in front of you. People who once went to work, sporting events, and celebrated the possibility of peacetime are now stopped in their tracks. They abandon their cars and run for survival, attempting to find refuge in subways or stores. A glimpse of a child's toy or dinner left uneaten are reminders of what's been lost and the horror of what the locusts have unleashed.
You'll experience the locust decimation at all scales in E-Day through our customized destruction technology. E-holes are back, unleashing waves of enemies from under your feet at any moment.
As a game design element, getting to use e-holes again as a spawn mechanic is brilliant. Locusts can come out of the ground anywhere, you can toss a grenade in to close them up, it just adds this great tactical layer to encounters.
But you'll also encounter massive sinkholes that'll pull down vehicles and entire buildings. And no amount of detail is too small, as micro-destruction goes beyond what we've ever done before with chippable cover across a range of materials. Your impact is real, visceral, and leaves a mark on the world. Destroyed Beauty has long been a visual pillar of Gears of War, and we finally get to show the before, making the after hit that much harder. You'll recognize a neighborhood that was once intact is now completely destroyed. You'll walk through city streets filled with smoke and fire, and it feels completely different from how you first experienced it. You start getting this real feeling of the city's a character, and it's really under attack. It's the fall of Kelowna.
E-Day is an intentionally intimate story. There's this colossal event going on in the plot, but the actual characters and the journey they go on is where you get to explore themes of burden, of loss, and of loyalty. The whole world of Gears is about characters. It's the nightmarish monsters from below versus the soldiers that hold the line in a war for survival.
You okay? No way this is real. It's pretty fucking real to me. On your feet.
This was our opportunity to focus on what makes Gears characters so special and what makes our enemies so iconic. The entire campaign is played from the perspective of our new squad, Bravo. As the invasion breaks out, you'll meet Mags Carter, a former Gear now sweating it out at Kelowna's emulsion refinery.
Now, why don't you come talk shit when your balls drop? And quit going through my stuff.
And you'll also meet rookie cadet Lucas Reyes.
What the hell?
A sharp comms officer who never made it to the front lines despite his dreams of military glory.
Holy fucking shit.
Mags and Lucas, together with Marcus and Dom, are four soldiers thrown together, fighting through tensions with each other while fighting the Locust, ultimately forging their bonds in battle.
We follow Bravo Squad with our cinematic cameras, just like the intense war movies we love. The shots are intentionally gritty and a bit shaky, and leaning into these rough edges is what makes you feel like you're right in the middle of the action.
Bravo's story also intertwines with others called to defend the city, including returning characters like warrior philosopher Ty Kaliso.
Our roads converge again. Marcus Phoenix.
Ty.
And fans of the books will finally get to see the hard-ass Raven pilot Gil Gettner in-game for the very first time.
Let's go and fuck this mess.
Marcus and Dom are absolute legends. You can spot those strong jaws and thick necks from a mile away. But if you go too realistic, you lose those unique features that make them stand out. Honestly, Marcus just isn't Marcus if you take away his classic perma-scout. So instead of chasing perfect realism, we focused on making them believable and memorable, respecting the details that really make them who they are.
Material and character fidelity in Gears of War E-Day far surpasses anything we've been able to achieve before. Our facial animation systems have been completely upgraded for E-Day, with 3 times more joints and over 350 facial shapes sculpted for each head alone to really represent the emotion in our characters. Marcus has more detail in his eyelashes than his entire character model did in the original Gears of War on Xbox 360.
Phoenix. Marcus. Sergeant, 26 RTI C Company. Next to kin, Adam Phoenix.
With the amount of layers we have, we've never had fidelity at this scale. Combined with a much more sophisticated animation rig, this allows us to have way more expressive characters with a huge range. From a small smirk to yells on the battlefield.
Come and get some, you goddamn grubs!
Your experience takes on a new intensity. We're pushing the graphical limit with 4K Ultra HD resolution, native HDR10 rendering, hardware ray tracing at 60 frames per second in campaign, and up to 120 frames per second in multiplayer.
When it comes to the Locust, to make them more believable, we made them scarier. The drones are wild and vicious. The boomers are even bigger this time around. Like living battering rams smashing through doorways onto the battlefield. The wretches scream so loud it disorients you before they rip you apart.
صراحة الجيم look very good.
In the Reavers, they crawl up buildings and rain fire from above. Basically, the whole Locust army, whether new or old, are more intense than ever before.
So what now, Marcus?
We save everyone we can.
Gears of War has never been a horror game, but the world has always felt horrifying. And with E-Day, we lean into that even more. Our new gore system means damage feels meaty, responsive, and satisfying.
That was satisfying.
Muscle and cloth deforms in response to your attacks, and blood and bone damage adds to the intensity of combat. Gore is localized as well. Shoot a locust in the armor leg, and you'll see the bullet take a chunk out of it. Or land a heavy shot on a limb, and our dismemberment system will rip it clean off in glorious detail.
The Nasha is going to get you the most satisfying shots, covering you in blood, or pop heads from afar with the long shot. We've revamped our favorite weapons for E-Day. And of course, we also have some fun new ones for even more brutal ways to tear your enemies apart. The new Gut Puncher grenade launcher is a cog weapon that fires armor-piercing explosive rounds. Quick fire a round to let it explode, or hold the trigger to control when it detonates. That means you can place a well-timed explosion behind an enemy protected by cover, or with practice, master its long-range eco closing potential. The Incinerator is our new shotgun. You can see the emulsion literally melt the skin off an enemy's body. Before, you'd probably get into a grapple if an enemy came charging at you. Now, you feel the power of getting to incinerate them when they get close. And of course, the Lancer. creation of the Chainsaw Lancer is another origin story from lore that we wanted to show in E-Day. From the moment that Ty grabbed that chainsaw to rip through a locust at the superstore, to a prototype kit bash on the front lines of the invasion, all to deliver on that gratifying moment when you finally get to slice a grub in two.
Gears music has always been about tension, escalation, and release. When a fight kicks off, the music hits hard. It tightens the
ترى إذا ما بعد نروح حق الملتي بلاير. الملتي بلاير
enemy, you hear that familiar
بيطول يعني 20 دقيقة. بس قاعد اشوف يعني انا مستمتع يعني قاعد اكل بالوقت قاعد مركز.
Together with our composer Adam Lastica, we built the score to match a world on the verge of collapse.
كنت ويت يعني عشان نجرب اللعبة.
But both are pushed into uncomfortable territory. Like dragging a bone saw across a cello, creating dissonance that never fully resolves.
Where the hell are we?
And then there's the sound design.
ترى صار كيف يسوون الاوديو في اشياء يعني لو تشوفون في دوكيومنتريز حق العاب كيف قاعد يسوون بعض الاصوات تستغرب.
This chainsaw has a 14-inch blade with that signature meaty yet intimate sound, and when it revs, you can hear all the gnarly details. In terms of how you'll experience Kelowna, I always think about our acoustic system like this. I'm walking down a street and I hear the sound reflecting off the walls around me. Then I step into an alley and everything immediately tightens. I come back out into a wide space and the sound opens up again, almost like a cathedral.
حلو بعد جيرز الاشياء الضخمة نفس شو اسمه العاب وور هامر كذا الاشياء ضخمة مباني الشخصيات كذا مع دروعها.
And what better way to experience this dread and tension than through the music and sound that surrounds you.
No other game does the squad like Gears does. Our themes, our gameplay, and our modes, they all revolve around this core element. But it's not just about the brotherhood that you experience in the stories. It's also about the bonds you create with your friends. Co-op has always been a part of our DNA. And like every great Gears game, you can bring your own squad to this fight. In campaign, all 4 characters are playable from the start. And we support 4-player online co-op and 2-player split screen on console. In Versus, our sweaty squad-based PvP is back, with a collection of 4v4 modes and all new maps set in locations in and around the war-torn city of Kelowna. We've combined classic Gears symmetrical PvP map design with new traversal opportunities. You'll put your skill to the test alongside a seasonal roadmap of killer content, almost all of which you can just earn by playing the game, completing in-game challenges, events, and achievements. And today, we're excited to announce a dynamic new evolution of Gears' iconic PvE mode, Horde Siege. It's a 12-player mode where all 3 squads fight alongside each other to battle the Locust invasion and defend Kelowna across a range of city-based maps. We'll have more to share soon, and we hope you join us for our open beta weekend.
هذول شكلهم يمكن يكون حليو ان اذا قلنا 10 لاعب يدخلون كلكم تساعدون بعض. بتكون حرب طاحنة كذا 12 واحد يلا كل ويفات. يعني بيكون شيء حلو نجرب نشوف كيف طريقته بس ان شاء الله يكون حلو يعني ما يكون ذا ممل يكون فيها شيء ايبك.
Years of Gears is such a milestone. It is such an honor and also a huge responsibility to make sure we deliver on the story of Gears.
It always comes back to the squad. It always comes back to this theme of getting through the absolute shittiest of times with somebody else who constantly has your back. And that's Marcus and Dom's story. The story of the original trilogy. The story of E-Day. And the story I think we can all relate to.
Thanks for pushing through. Couldn't have done it alone.
You got it, man.
Having the opportunity to have E-Day come out in the same year as the 20th anniversary of Gears, the quarter-century anniversary of Xbox, it's almost like a homecoming. It's like returning back to our roots and saying, fuck yeah, we're back. And we have so many more stories to tell. It's an incredible honor and one that we want to make sure that we do right.
Ty. What a nightmare.
Untouched by nearly 80 years of war. Destroyed in 2 nights.
For us, the heart of Gears has always been about the bonds you make in the darkest of times. Inside the studio, we rally around a simple phrase: never fight alone. It guides how we build our stories, our gameplay, and our world. It's how we work as a team and the commitment we make to you, our fans. Everything comes back to that important idea of sharing life's experiences, the highs and lows, together. And E-Day is the best expression of never fight alone that we've ever made. Whether you'll be picking up a Lancer for the first time ever, or you're as battle-hardened as Marcus Phoenix, there's always a place for you in the Gears squad. When emergence
عليكم السلام ورحمة الله. لين ذا دايركت خلاص. هذا نوقف تسجيل صراحة يعني قد الألعاب الموجودة كانت قد يعني كان في مفاجأة مثل سينما ما توقعت انها تكون موجودة. اوكي شفنا العاب حلوه كان فيها كم لعبه ذاك الماجيك وكذا في كم لعبه قبليه شباب شيك عليهم انترستنج. بس اهم شيء فيبل تاريخ هيلو يعني حصلنا تاريخ قريب. جيرز بعد شنو يعني باقي الالعاب يعني قالوا 2027 يعني كذا وبس الالعاب المهمه مثل ما قلت حطوهم في تواريخ زينه. باقي الالعاب وي ويل سي. الحين بروح بشيك اصلا على الكالندر بشوف الالعاب اللي راح تنزل نشوف الحين ايش الوضع ما دام يعني مهمات شو اسمه المعارض المهمه خلصت باقي فيهم كم معرض يعني الالعاب الكبيره ذا نشوف متى راح تنزل نشوف الوضع. اوكي فنوقف هنا ويعطيكم العافيه ونشوفكم ان شاء الله في رياكشنات اخرى.